What is up? Check out where we ended up. Where are we? I actually have no idea where we are.
We're not in LA anymore, that's for sure.
We're just taking the Jeep out for a little day trip, but check out what I got in here. The brand new DJI Mavic Mini. Look how small this thing is. Most of you have seen a Maverick, right? Nice and small, but look at the difference. Just look, it's tiny. Now, before we get into this review, let me clarify one thing. This is not a replacement for this. The Mavic Pro does still have plenty of advantages over the Mavic Mini, but this Mavic Mini is so compact and nice and easy and relatively inexpensive. So if you're looking to get your first drone, this might be the one. We are losing the light here pretty quick, but let me just try to put it up in the air and see if we can get anything neat. All right, here we go. So as of right now, it looks like we could do 30 frames per second or 25 frames per second in 2.7K. I don't see 24 frames per second now. Maybe it'll come in a future update, but they made it very clear that this is not a professional drone. This is very much for someone trying to get into their first drone. But the way it flies is great. It feels really good. It's very responsive. If you're familiar with flying a Mavic, it feels very similar. It's great. So first impressions, it's tiny, really small, and also it's fun to fly. But anyways, we're about to lose the sun. We don't really know where we are. We've been kind of lost this whole time. So let's probably get out of here before we get eaten alive.
This is the start to every scary movie I've seen.
All right, so we made it out of there alive. Now we're back in LA, and I just looked up a park where we're allowed to fly drones. So we're gonna try to get a few more shots. I'm so underprepared for this. This came up in the map as a park, but this is a full-on hiking trail. Whew, but this might actually work out in our benefit. Some of the best spots to get drone shots are where you have clearance on both sides. In every direction I look, I'm on top of everything. So hopefully that'll make for some good drone shots. I need a rest. Hold on, give me a second. Now this Mavic Mini comes in at 249 grams, which keeps it barely under that 250 gram weight limit. And depending on who you are, where you are, and your local regulations, this might be a huge deal to have something under 250 grams, or it might not make much of a difference. But being this weight, it does definitely feel more like a toy opposed to a professional drone. Like if a Mavic Pro, worst case scenario, falls out of the sky and hits me in the head, I'm like, oh! But this on the other hand, it'll just bounce off my head. I'll be like, did you guys hear something? And just because it's this weight doesn't mean you could just take it to an airport and fly wherever you want. You still need to follow the rules, which is why I still had to drive all the way out here to let this thing fly, because I live pretty close to an airport. But in some places, it literally can make the difference between being able to fly a drone and not being able to. So this weight can be a big factor into which drone you choose. But keep in mind, being this small does have some trade-offs. Obviously, the camera is not 4K, it's 2.7K. Also, these are not sensors. There's no sensors on the front, back, or sides, only here on the bottom, which should give you a more stable flying, especially if you're flying low or indoors. All right, so let's let it take off and see how it does. It is a bit windy up here, so we'll see how it flies. And pretty good, no issues here. Let's get a few shots here and let's scout out this location a little bit. Looks pretty cool. This is the nice part about being at the top of a hill like I am right now, is that I can circle around us without having to worry about too much things to hit, like power lines and all that. Now, some of the smart features we lose is stuff like active track, where you can have it select you and follow you around. But we do still have some smart shots like quick shot. Let's try out Droney real quick and see how that looks. We'll just do a little short one at 10 meters. All right, I have myself selected. Click the start button, and I guess I'm just gonna let it do its thing. What's up? Does it look awesome? Does it look epic? It's pretty windy, so I wouldn't be surprised if the footage came out kind of choppy. And that was a short one. It was only 10 meters, so it came right back. Let's try another one over here. Now, quick shots are awesome because you could get some pretty awesome shots without putting too much focus on the control. So if you're like up here right now and you have to do a sponsorship read, perfect example. So let's give this a shot. I'm gonna tap on myself and I'm gonna set this to 35 meters, hit start, and here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hello there. Today's video is sponsored by Audible, the world's largest collection of audiobooks and audio entertainment. I'm so excited to be partnering with Audible because I have been a huge fan of them and have been using them for the last few years, and it has literally changed my life. Can we add an echo to that? Changed my life! How'd that look? Come on, it was pretty awesome, right? All right, let's try another shot here. Let's try Helix, which is gonna circle around me and slowly widen out. So let's try this. I have myself selected. I'm just gonna hit start and let it do all the work. And this is gonna be an epic shot. Trust me here, watch this. Now with the huge selection that Audible has available, you will never run out of stuff to keep you entertained, educated, and informed. Now one of the audiobooks I cannot recommend enough, and literally it was life-changing for me, is a audiobook called How Not to Die by Dr. Michael Greger. Now what I love about the audiobook is it's very, very informative and also entertaining and engaging. And it's less about, hey, you should be eating this and you shouldn't be eating that, but it's more scientific-based evidence on how food affects our body. And it's common sense that food affects your body because we are what we eat, right? But everything made a whole lot more sense after I got through that audiobook. One of the examples is I used to get sick a lot, nothing serious, but colds and fevers all the time, a couple times a year. But this is not an exaggeration. I haven't been really sick ever since, and it's been almost 2 years. Is that a coincidence? Possibly, but trust me when I say this, when you get through that audiobook, you're gonna be like, wow, I learned some stuff. And since they're sponsoring this video, you can get a 30-day free trial, which includes any audiobook of your choice as well as 2 Audible originals. So be sure to hit that link in the description, audible.com/PotatoJet, or text PotatoJet to 500-500 and become part of the club. If you decide to stick around after that 30-day free trial, you still get a free audiobook and 2 Audible originals every single month. And the price of the audiobook itself doesn't matter, so I've actually saved a lot of money by being a member. And all the audiobooks you get are yours to keep, so even if you cancel Audible, you'll still have those to listen to. And I can't tell you how awesome it is to always have something to listen to, especially if you're commuting or doing a road trip or you're working out. There's just always some information to be absorbed, and I love that. So thanks again, Audible, for being a sponsor of this episode. And don't forget to check them out, audible.com/PotatoJet, or text PotatoJet to 500-500. Woo! All right, let's go fly some more drones. What's up, man?
What's up?
Hey, what elevation do you think we're at?
This is probably 6,000 or 7,000 feet.
I think we're up so high that the air is very thin, and I just crashed the drone.
Just crashed it.
I just
Had it for
it.
like 3 minutes.
Let's go look for it. It just sank so fast. Like it started dropping and I just full throttled up all the way, and it just kept coming down, and here it is. Looks like we're okay for now, but I think it might be the elevation. So that is one of the reasons why it is nice to have something like this Mavic Pro, where it is gonna fly stronger and not gonna be affected by wind and altitude as much. So we're gonna head back down, and I'm gonna switch to this, and let's go. So the way back, it was so much smoother on that Mavic 2 Pro. So they are completely different machines. If you have a Mavic, you don't need to go and sell it and get this Mavic Mini. There's definitely a lot of benefits of having a Mavic Pro. So after we got off the mountain and came to a more reasonable elevation, we did a whole bunch more tests and we didn't have that issue anymore. So I'm definitely convinced that altitude had a big part in the drone just kind of dipping out of the sky. Anyways, one of the very impressive specs about this is the battery life on this. And to help me test it, I have a very, very special guest, Forrest Gump.
No.
You're supposed to say, I just felt like running.
I just felt like running.
That's actually pretty good. You practice that?
Yeah.
You got the hat?
The beard, the yellow,
those socks.
those socks make the whole outfit.
So here's the question. Who can run longer? The Mavic Mini or Forrest Gump?
Yeah. Come on. Let's move together.
I ran for a while, and I think I'm just gonna go home.
Hey, you only ran for 10 minutes. One thing that is really nice is how small this drone is. I feel so much more comfortable navigating through all this with that much smaller footprint. Now, even though the camera is fully automatic, the image quality isn't bad. It's 2.7K resolution. You don't have access to stuff like D-Log and stuff like that. So it's obviously not gonna be as capable as its bigger brothers, but here the performance is definitely good enough and it's fun enough to where I would recommend it. Sam, you wanna try? Drones are not a toy. Limbo! Oh, oh. All right, so this beeping officially started at 19.5 minutes. It's about 19% battery now. So we'll just see how long we can keep it in the air until it just wants to fall out of the sky. 23 minutes in, now we're at 4%. It's just trying to land, and every time I force it up, it'll go back up. All right, now it's at 0%, and I'm just forcing it to stay up in the air. We're at 24.5 minutes of flight time now with recording, so that's actually pretty impressive. What do you guys think is gonna happen when the battery's completely just done for? Is it just gonna fall out or what? Oh, and this is a sponsored video, so if you want a chance to win this Mavic, I'm gonna give it to somebody. Oh, it just... Oh, okay, so eventually it's just like, okay, now I'm landing. We made it to about 25 minutes on this one battery, which is really impressive considering that we were flying around a decent amount and we were recording 2.7K the whole time. So pretty good flight time. Oh, and as you guys know, this is a sponsored video, so there is a giveaway. We are giving away a Forrest Gump. I'm just kidding. We're just giving this away to someone in the notification squad. So all you gotta do is drop a comment within the first 24 hours of this video going live and you have a chance to win this. Good luck. I'd say the closest thing to the Mavic Mini is the Mavic Air that Steve has. It's smaller, but it's not a crazy difference, huh?
No, yeah. And if you look from the side, they're almost identical.
But the big difference I think here is probably the weight and price. So with the Mavic Air, you're gonna have a few advantages. One, you have sensors up front, so that will help in some cases, especially if you lose video transmission with the drone and it starts to fly back towards you, it'll be able to avoid trees and buildings along the way. But also you can shoot 120p in full HD, which is awesome, and also 4K at 24 frames per second, so more professional camera settings. Now we're gonna do a little race and see who can go faster. We're both in sport mode and we're going into a headwind for this one, so here we go. Oh, you got me beat, huh? I'm at 15 miles per hour right now. What are you at?
31.
Oh, you're at 31. You're going double the speed of me. So in terms of power, you got me way beat. I must say, I really love the extended flight time of this Mavic Mini though. I'm still on my second battery and Steve's almost through his third. Dude, these propeller guards are freaking dope. I was thinking like, oh, I don't need those. I have enough experience not to crash, but when you put them on, you feel a lot more comfortable. These propeller guards are actually awesome, especially when you're learning or if you're planning on flying really close to stuff. This is sweet. Since it doesn't have sensors, it's definitely very nice to have this. Whoever wins this giveaway, I apologize for the slightly damaged propellers, but this is too much fun right now. Especially for like indoor flying, like this is dope. So overall, Mavic Mini, super fun, especially with these propeller guards. Like, I kind of wish I put them on earlier. This propeller here kind of split, so I'm gonna have to switch that out. After all this has been through, the only time it takes any damage is when it has the propeller guards on. Luckily, the Fly More kit comes with extra propellers. And yeah, you might notice that this is a screw-on instead of the snap-on that the other ones have. I guess I prefer the snap-on ones, but it's really not a big deal because you don't really need to take them off unless you crash into something like I just did. So there you go. Good as new. It's actually been through a lot in this video, hasn't it? But still, it's hanging in there just fine. Overall, would I recommend this? Absolutely. Yes, I did have a few issues up in the mountains with it, but 7,300 feet, that's way up. That's like a mile and a half almost up in the air. I'm sending the flight logs over to DJI so they can look into it, and if they respond with an answer, I'll let you guys know down in the description. But for $399, I'm really impressed with what this thing is capable of. The way I see it, there's 3 drones that I highly recommend right now. One is this Mavic Mini, and then a step above that is the Mavic Air that Steve has, and then the Mavic 2 Pro, which is my primary drone. Each one, there's a big step in terms of performance, but also the price. I mean, every time I fly this thing, I have so much fun with it. And the Fly More combo comes with 3 batteries, and by the time you get through all 3, you're pretty tired of flying, so that's a good thing. Now from this, if you wanted to take the step up to the Mavic Air, it's gonna give you a better top speed, it's gonna be faster, and probably not be an issue at those super high elevations. In terms of the camera, instead of this 2.7K that you have on the Mini, you're gonna go to a 4K camera with 30 frames per second as well as 25 and 24. You could even get 120 frames per second in full HD. And when it comes to the wireless video feed, that transmission that you receive here at your controller, I noticed that the Air is better than the Mini. I mean, the Mini is fine. I think it's plenty for basic use, but when you start pushing the boundaries a little bit, we flew them both out to about 1,300 feet. What you're looking at right now is actual footage from the image transmission that we were receiving with the Mavic Air. And we were consistently getting a very clear image that was very responsive, no lag. And then when we put that next to the Mavic Mini all the way out at 1300 feet, it was a pretty noticeable difference. Again, that's just really when you start pushing the limits. But for most basic use, I think the Mavic Mini's signal is good enough. So still plenty of reasons to upgrade to the Air from the Mini. And then of course at the top is the Mavic 2 Pro. Huge leap in price, but also you get that 1-inch sensor that's really clear. I love the way it flies. It's very robust, no issues at high elevations like we saw. And I've pushed that thing out super far and still never had an issue with the transmission or signal. So whatever video transmission that they put on that Mavic 2 Pro, that thing's magic. But yeah, if you decide this Mavic Mini is for you, I think you'd be super happy with it. It's so much fun, and maybe you might be the giveaway winner. To be real though, statistically, there's a very slim chance of you being the winner of this, but hey, it might happen. You might be like Hunter over here, who just won a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K from one of my previous videos. So congratulations, Hunter, and good luck to whoever wins this. Anyways, let's wrap this up by reading a few comments from my last video, which was all about trying to take a small compact camera and making it look as cinematic as possible. The Sigma FP, the smallest full-frame camera in the world. Oh, that actually looks pretty cool. $1,900 for a full-frame camera. I might need to get my hands on one of those. That could be cool. Christopher says, watching Potato Jet while working. Boss says, you're fired. You shouldn't be watching YouTube while you work. That's irresponsible, but thank you. It's funny how my peak hours, my busiest times, are always during business hours when people are supposed to be working. Wonder what that is. Sin and B-Roll says, I never thought this camera was so capable. Also, please review the GoPro Max. Oh, the 360 camera. I ordered one. Can't wait for it to come in. Review coming soon. But anyways, I should probably stop rambling. This is a long ass video. How long have we been watching? Oh my God, you've been watching me for that long? Quickly hide this window and pull up a spreadsheet so your boss doesn't know you're watching me.